Let's see it. Alongside Path of Exile Delirium, we are introducing gems that allow you to translate mana investment into damage. This post shares more information about the new Stormbind and Arcane Cloak skill gems, as well as the Archmage support. Sounds cool. Well, there are some existing options in Path of Exile that facilitate using mana as a source of damage or defense. Yeah. These usually come from quite niche sources, true. Since mana is such a fundamental mechanic, we felt that there could be more support for players who are interested in builds that fully invest in mana. Man, this could be like a really good thing or a really bad thing. Because mana, because there's so many scarce sources of, like they said, putting it into characters, right? Of investing into it so that it's actually beneficial for your character, especially for a source of damage. It's like you have to go so overboard, and that's how we ended up with things like the Elder Cat and shit like that. So, which is pretty extreme, or like Mana Guardians and whatnot. It always ended up being a pretty broken mechanic. Or it could be a very good thing because through this, they can essentially nerf those builds and not make them nearly as broken and kind of even it out with all the new stuff that they're adding, right? By taking an actual look at it. So let's see. Arcane Cloak. Arcane Cloak is a guard skill, and like other guard skills, is an instant with a cooldown that does not expire during the skill's effect. It uses a percentage of an unreserved mana to grant a buff that absorbs 75% of all damage from hits before the damage affects your life or energy shield. While the buff is active, you also gain additional lightning damage proportional to the mana used by the skill. The damage bonus relies on the buff being active, so you'll need to ensure that you don't take more damage than your buff allows. Pretty fucking cool. Okay, I actually really like this, but I think they're going to make it very underwhelming. Because this is obviously a concept that we have in many games. Something that is a buff that has a cooldown and you have to choose, right? Am I going to use this to deal more damage right now? Or will I potentially need it in a couple seconds to bolster my defenses and not die? And anytime you do use it to deal damage and then you die, you feel extra bad about it. But the overall cost is only that potential. So in games like Path of Exile, where 99.99999% of the time you are in zero danger of dying, that wouldn't be particularly interesting, right? But because it's got this cost to it, that mana cost to it, where it uses it every time, adding the additional layer of risk, because you have to kind of invest into it for it to be worth it, is a really cool concept. But all of that being said, I think they're going to make it really underwhelming. I think they're going to make it something like it can only absorb like maybe 3,000 damage. I think 4 would be like crazy, and you would have to have crazy mana investment to actually make it work. And that's how far I can see them going with something like this. Really interesting. I think that's very cool design. I hope it actually works the way they anticipate it would. Difficult to tweak numbers on it, definitely. Oh wait, there's a Stormbind demo. Let's check that out first. Oh, they show all of them. I forgot. Oh! Wait, do they show the number? I like the sound. Oh, they do show the number, but I mean, we don't know what level it is. But I saw like 1.6k or something. No Archmage support. What the fuck is this demo? Eh? Why would you use it with Arc? What the fuck? The damage disparity makes this completely... What? Okay, I have no idea what that one does yet. Oh no, this works exactly like I thought it would. Oh, wait, it targets under the mobs. Oh. Okay, so I didn't quite get that part. I thought you were gonna have to move your mouse around potentially to target shit. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Oh. Oh, I got so worried for a second. I was like, dude, they're making it so that you have to cast the entire thing every time to cover every area. But no, it auto-spawns under mobs. You don't have to target or anything. Because over here... He does turn his character. Where the fuck is this guy's cursor? No, I think he only has to target over it once, maybe? It does seem rather smart. I think you do have to target over the mobs. Fuck. But it's only over the mob. It's not over the area, so that's fine. Ugh, I thought it was like kind of automated. It went from being uh-oh to being oh shit to being okay. Stormbinder is a level 28 channeling spell that works in a fashion that's similar to mine's but with a channeling component. The initial channeling aspect of Stormbinder lays a grid of runes that hinders enemies. As a secondary layer of offense, Stormbinder also grants the Rune Blast ability, a channeling spell that upgrades the area of effect and damage of Stormbinder's runes. The more mana you spend while channeling Rune Blast, the greater the area of effect and damage your upgraded runes will have. When you stop channeling, all of your Stormbind runes will detonate in a sequence, dealing lightning damage to an area. Your character will also teleport to the location of the first rune that was detonated. Oh! This skill has a big brain. You fucking press 2 buttons? Like, I don't... Oh my god, you do. Oh my god, this seems incredibly infuriating to play. Okay, so it's even worse than I thought. Look at it. Okay, so the way you do it is that you hover over the mobs, okay, to place down the grid. Then he stops casting. He stops channeling here because the grid is laid out. And then he has to channel another ability that now empowers the runes. But it doesn't do all of them. It does like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he stops channeling and it explodes. What the fuck? He's casting 2 skills. See? He puts down the grid and then he starts channeling this. And then he's hovering over the mobs to empower the runes. I mean, I guess it seems like the runes are overlapping. Like the explosions. So it's not like the mob has to be directly on the rune, but still. Man, this looks, yeah. And then that's the best part. Then you finish the channeling. After you finish the channeling, so it kills all the mobs, then you TP on top of it because it forces you to where you clicked first. And then the barriers explode and you die instantly. What the fuck, dude? That's not... That is suboptimal. This is not... I don't know. Stormbind is looking rather yikes. I think it's going to do a fuck ton of damage because of how clunky it seems. But maybe. Or porcupines. Yeah, you just teleport on top of porcupines and glow up. Archmage support can be used with any spell that deals damage with hits and has a mana cost. It converts the supported spell into one that scales with mana investment. Instead of using the skill's inherent mana cost, the Archmage support causes it to use a percentage of your unreserved maximum mana. I mean, this guy looked like he was spending a fuck ton of mana. Look at this shit. But you know what wasn't moving more? The mob's HP. I mean, it was. Nah, he was doing like no damage here. Absolute ZDPS. The problem is that it's all lightning damage. Why the fuck would you show this with Arc? Why not show it with literally any other ability that has some sort of resemblance of average damage rather than this, where half of the attacks deal 1 damage? Come on, dog. Like, what are you doing? Why not just use anything else? I like how in this replay, this guy's just frantically spamming his mana flasks and then he still ends up with no flasks. No mana. And the boss is still 70% HP on the 6-link arc, dude. It's like, Bruh, this is the Arc experience indeed. Oh no. Man, this looks so clunky. I mean, I think the guy's moving the cursor a lot more. I don't think you have to be using the cursor as much. Man, these are some fucking experimental skills right now. So again, Arcane Cloak, I think they have to make it underwhelming. Otherwise, it's just gonna get really out of control and only buff skills and build setups that are already broken, because literally anything that skills mana is broken with enough investment. Stormbind looks turbo clunky, but also kind of cool, and I think that they're potentially going to make it... it could still be a really fun utility ability, but on top of it, I think they're going to make it deal just an insane amount of damage. Like, absolutely ridiculous amount of damage, and I think through that, maybe it's going to make more sense. It does seem like it's going to be overlapping, so it could definitely still function pretty well. And then Archmage support, I guess it falls in the same camp of Arcane Cloak. It's going to be... Well, I guess you could do more with it. It makes a lot more sense now. I like the change a lot more of removing mana leech. It's pretty cool. But then, could you like scale it with the new stuff too? Because it's so interchangeable, you know, leeching with attacks and dealing damage with spells now and all this sort of stuff with the wand skills. Could do something cool maybe.